The development of humanity and technology contributed to the educational reform. The concept of multi-element learning, which was introduced by Dr. H. Gardner, USA, since the mid-1980s has been valued by the experts of quality education. To foster a happier learning environment, Taiwan has replaced the traditional university's admissions with multiple enrollment since 2002, aiming to allow students to apply for higher education institutions with their individual talent, experience in competitions, or volunteering instead of only focusing on academic results. And Taiwan is not the only region that promoted this method of student recruitment. This is how Academy came about. In response to the Ministry of Education's plan to shift children's education from a text-based to a comprehensive approach in the year 2021, Academy invested a 7-figure sum to collaborate with educators across the country, including college and university lecturers, secondary school teachers, primary school teachers, kindergarten teachers, private tutors, etc., to design and construct Academy's online curriculum. In addition to the commitment in reinforcing children's inherent knowledge, educators continues to bring in more rich and educating games and content to meet the learning needs of different children. Richard Charles Levine, the president of Yale University, believes that learning and acquiring knowledge and techniques according to students' own wishes is the biggest mission of Yale University. Learning should never be limited to a classroom. Bearing that in mind, Academy not only provides ample amount of resource of learning materials on its online platform, but also employs experts from various industries to create an exceptional learning atmosphere for children. Let our children shine on stage alongside professional performance. Let our children experience the process of film production. Let our children develop happily with spiritual mentors. Let the mangroves forest exhibit the beautiful scenery of Malaysia to our children. Let the grasslands lead our children to a bright and exciting future. Academy. We focus on every aspect of the children. Academy. Together, we bring out the best in Academy.
Meet KleverStock, the ultimate financial insights for everyone. Limitless financial resources. Here's the game changer. KleverStock live streaming channel, the first in Malaysia. Join us from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. for valuable insights, educational content, and updates. Our bilingual host will guide you through stocks, ensuring you're informed all day. Expect daily opening and closing bell information and range of valuable content. We empower you with knowledge for informed investment decisions, covering market analysis, expert interviews, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting, we provide actionable insights to enhance your investment skills. Sit back, relax, and explore the stock market opportunities with us at KleverStock's live broadcast, where knowledge meets stock market success. Ever wonder what's inside the mind of the founder and entrepreneur? Join us in the Entrepreneur Live Talk to glean first-hand insights and experiences from successful entrepreneurs, delving into their perspectives on investment strategies and evolving market trends. Join our never-ending sharing session with certified financial gurus. Elevate your decision-making and analysis to the next level. We believe in the power of unity. Curious about diverse opinions? Dive into our community channel, participate in interactive social entertainment, and discover a spectrum of perspectives. Stay well-informed, connected, and ahead of the curve. Anything, anywhere with KleverStock.
大家好，我是 Kimi Lau，Academy 环的美有限公司的总执行长。教育是全民身心修养和实践社会发展的重要基础，也是每一位父母一生中最值得投资的事情。我承认，我很注重孩子的学习成果，不过我更希望他们开心的学习，快乐的成长。我成立 Academy 环的美的初心，就是希望能看见每一位 Academy 的老师和孩子们都能开开心心的笑，快快乐乐的学习和成长。我也相信学校是绝对不可或缺的学习场所。不过，科技不断日益发展，现今网络已几乎覆盖每个角落，所以我认为把科技融入教育已经是势在必行的事情了。 户外考察活动重不重要？当然重要。知识如果只限于课本，那么孩子们也只能永远地局限在课本的框框里头了。读万卷书虽然重要，但能行万里路，我觉得更重要。户外考察活动除了让课本上所有的文字都动起来之外，还可以让孩子们发挥他们的无限的想象和探索能力，把学习课本里的知识的可能性无限扩大。我们必须感恩我们所拥有的一切，这一切都不是理所当然凭空而来的。在马来西亚还有很多孩子，他们除了想探索网络带给他们崭新的知识外，他们也很想尝试来自各行各业不同的专业知识和生活体验，但是碍于经济能力，却局限了他们对于学习的渴望。作为一名教育工作者，也是一名母亲，我认为把爱和希望传达给身边所有的人，尤其是自己珍惜的人，特别重要。有能力时，也给需要的孩子带来希望和温暖，这也是在我生命里一件非常美好的事情。对于 Academy 还的美，我很感谢我的团队和我一起并肩作战，这些年一直坚持携手完成了许多不可能的任务和挑战。我也特别由衷地感谢马来西亚的教育家、慈善家以及所有的校长、老师们的信任，并协助 Academy 不断的成长，让更多的孩子受惠。Academy 还的美承诺，我们会一直陪伴孩子，一起学习，一起努力，一起成长，一起追求属于孩子们的梦想。我们也欢迎您加入我们的大家庭，一起让世界更美好、更温暖。Happy learning, you and me.
Good morning, investors. You are now on KleverStock with me, Ainin Jaria, serving you the latest morning bell updates. Kicking it off with the opening bell updates on our local market. The FPM KLCI opened lower as profit taking extended. mirroring the retreat on Wall Street overnight while investors awaited more cues from Federal Reserve policymakers regarding potential rate cuts. At the opening bell, the benchmark index slipped 1.88 points to 1,628.15. Heavyweight counters that dragged the market included IHH Healthcare, which declined 15 cents to 8 ringgit and 4 cents. Gamuda falling 9 cents to 5 ringgit and 41 cents. YTL Power down 8 cents to 4 ringgit and 13 cents. And PPB Group easing 6 cents to 10 ringgit and 62 cents. TA Securities noted that continued selling pressure and profit taking are expected to weigh on the local benchmark index until fresh catalysts emerge to drive a breakout from the current consolidation phase. It said immediate support remains at the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level of 1,564, with stronger support seen at 1,527 and 1,490, while resistance levels are pegged at 1,644, followed by 1,684 and 1,695. In its morning report, Rakuten Trade said the recent weakness was due to foreign-led profit-taking activities over the past 2 days, though it believes the local market remains well supported. It added that the pullback is likely a brief digestion phase rather than a reversal in sentiment. On the broader market, top actively traded stocks included KNM, which remained flat at half a cent, TWL unchanged at 3 cents, and LNG rising half a cent to 16 cents. Moving on to local currency updates. The ringgit appreciated against the US dollar and other major currencies at the opening today, driven by positive sentiment ahead of the tabling of the national budget this Friday. At 8 a.m., the local currency strengthened to 4.2075 or 4.2260 against the greenback from yesterday's close of 4.2125 or 4.2155. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad Chief Economist Dr. Muhammad Azanizam Abdul Rashid said the USD MYR pair is expected to trade within a narrow range, as the upcoming budget announcement is likely to offer greater clarity on Malaysia's economic outlook. He told that the dollar ringgit is expected to trade between 4 ringgit and 21 cents and 4 ringgit and 22 cents today. Further supporting the ringgit, Kenanga Investment Bank Berhad said Bank Negara Malaysia's international reserves rose by 0.9 billion US dollars in September to 123.6 billion US dollar, the highest level in nearly 11 years, mainly due to strong gold revaluation gains and higher foreign exchange reserves. In a note today, the investment bank said in ringgit terms, total reserves reached 520.9 billion ringgit, marking a 4-month high. It said that despite bond outflows, net foreign exchange reserves climbed to a 3-year high of $73.3 billion, supported by ongoing corporate forex repatriation, which helps underpin the ringgit's resilience. Kenanga Investment Bank added that the ringgit was among the best performing ASEAN 5 currencies in September, extending gains for an 8th straight month. While softer global demand may temper growth in the second half of 2025, domestic momentum should hold, driven by services, household spending, targeted policy measures, and structural reforms. At this juncture, the current policy rate remains supportive of growth, and rate cuts appear unnecessary as long as domestic demand stays firm. At the opening, the ringgit was higher against a basket of major currencies. It rose against euro to 4.9030 or 4.9246, strengthened versus the Japanese yen to 2.7663 or 2.7786, and appreciated against the British pound to 5.6465 or 5.6713. Against ASEAN currencies, the local note also traded higher. It advanced against the Thai baht to 12.9473 or 13.0115, firmed versus the Singapore dollar to 3.2520 or 3.2669, edged up against the Philippine peso to 7.24 or 7.27 and strengthened versus the Indonesian rupiah to 254.0 or 255.2. Continuing with some local economic updates. It takes a village to raise a child, and in Malaysia, that village now includes a nationwide effort to ensure every student has a chance to succeed. 1 year after its launch in September 2024, program Anak Kita, a joint initiative by the Finance and Education Ministries, continues to make an impact in helping students who have fallen behind in their studies. The program focuses on three key areas: improving literacy and numeracy among primary school students through 3M initiatives, supporting Form 5 students preparing for the Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia examination (SPM), and providing essential aid such as food and transport for secondary school students struggling to stay in class. According to official data, as of March 2025, the program's 3M's objectives has reached 45,270 students across 1,346 schools in 7 states. The SPM 2025 assistant currently supports 19,733 students nationwide from 923 schools, while the Pejutan SPM 324 initiative benefited 9,906 students from 343 schools. Parents have already begun to see real progress. Noradila Ismail, whose 7-year-old daughter attends Sekolah Kebangsaan Perempuan Methodist in Kuala Lumpur, said her child has shown marked improvement since joining the program. She said she saw positive developments and that her daughter can now spell, albeit slowly. She has passed the literacy test and only needs guidance in maths. Noradila added that the program's preschool-based modules and personalized approach make a real difference for children who learn at different paces. She said, not all students can learn and understand things the same way. Every child is at a different stage, and this program truly helps those who need extra guidance. With this holistic and inclusive approach, Program Anak Kita is proving to be more than just an academic support initiative. It's a national effort to ensure that every Malaysian child has the tools and the confidence to thrive in their education journey. Moving on to corporate news update. The Small and Medium Enterprises Association of Malaysia, or SAMENTA, is calling on the government to introduce tax incentives in Budget 2026 to help local businesses expand into intra-ASEAN markets and strengthen regional supply chains. SAMENTA National President Datuk William Ng said such incentives would encourage SMEs to invest in partnerships, joint ventures, and export networks within the region. He noted that despite Malaysia's proximity to its neighbours, intra-ASEAN trade still stands at only around 21%, adding that recent tariff challenges and supply chain disruptions have underscored the urgency to nearshore production and build stronger regional links. Ng said Malaysia's strategy must now evolve from being made in Malaysia to made by Malaysia, with greater support for innovation, intellectual property, and the globalization of local brands. He stressed that Budget 2026 should prioritize cash flow relief and competitiveness rather than new taxes, warning that any new levies would strain SMEs already facing tight liquidity and rising costs. According to SAMENTA SME Outlook survey, while 65% of SMEs believe the economy is on the right track, 7 in 10 have less than 6 months to cash reserves, reflecting ongoing financial stress. Ng also proposed tax incentives for ESG adoption, such as deductions or preferential loans for firms meeting sustainability goals, and urged the government to ensure regional balance, particularly for SMEs in Sabah, Sarawak and the East Coast, through equitable access to infrastructure, financing and training. As Budget 2026 marks the first under the 13 Malaysian plan, Ng said it must help SMEs transition from survival to competitiveness and from suppliers to innovators. He added, SAMENTA is ready to work with the government to translate Budget 2026 policies into real impact on the ground. And finally, wrapping up, we have major corporate developments and deals across Malaysia. Let's start off with the first one. K&M Group Berhad's largest shareholder, MAA Group Berhad, is pushing for shareholders to vote for the sale of its German unit, Deutsche K&M GmbH, even though Bursa Malaysia has rejected the group's plan, which includes sale to exit its PN17 status. GDB Holdings Berhad has proposed a private placement of 93.75 million new shares, representing about 10% of its issued shared capital, to independent third-party investors Datuk Sri Lan Chan Leng Sam and Datuk Sri Voon Thien Lung. Propel Global Berhad is selling an indirectly owned 70% stake in oil and gas services firm Propel Max Flows in Berhad to Reservoir Link Berhad in return to 13.79 million ringgit cash and a 44% additional stake in Reservoir Link. Advanced Holdings Berhad has secured a favorable adjudication decision against China Communication Construction ECRL Sunjang Berhad in relation to a payment dispute involving the East Coast Rail and Link project. Last but not least, Chronology Asia Berhad has partnered with LT0 PTE Ltd and global data storage leader BDT Media Automation GmbH to introduce BDT's Orion MC6 high density archival storage solution for enterprises and hyperscale data centers. Now that's a wrap on Morning Bell updates with me, Anujarya, on KleverStock. Thank you for choosing us, investors. Stay tuned for the next live coming soon.